and the Omnitrix.
No, please! I beg of you, don't do it. I'll pay you. I'll pay you money. I'll pay you anything you want. Please, don't do it to me.
How can I not, though?
No. Welcome back to War of the Movies. What is so funny? Welcome back to War of the Movies. We are Seth and Jack, and today we have a very special episode planned. We have a new segment, 4 for 4.
4. Did you get it?
Oh, okay.
That one felt too forced.
We've done this like 3 times already. Okay, anyway, where we have a top 4 list of a couple, 4 top 4 lists. How did you say it over the phone?
We have 4 different top 4 lists that we're going to give you in a very concise amount of time without any spoilers unless they're super duper old.
Then we have another segment, one of our favorite segments that we've done. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yes, where we every different episode has a different year. Today's year is 2002, and we're going to do a top 5 of 2002.
Yeah. We're not going to go ahead and say that we're going in order of year by year. Like, we're not going to necessarily do 2003 next, but there's a high possibility that
because 2003, I remember, I've seen some movies. It's an absolute banger of a year.
2002 went crazy, though.
It did go crazy. Then at the end of the episode, we're going to do Cartoon Network Show Draft.
Yes.
That is going to be fucking fun. I cannot wait for that shit.
I'm nervous for it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm afraid you have...
There's a lot riding on this.
I'm afraid you have, like, everything written down that I have written down.
We probably do. I have 12 movies. I have 12 shows.
I have 12 as well.
Oh, God. Here we go. We're going to be fighting over it.
What else we got tonight?
And then, before all that, we'll start with Swift Interrogation.
Of course.
And, in fact, we can start with Swift Interrogation now if you want.
You want to?
Yeah. You can go first if you want. Do you want to go first? Are you ready?
All right, yeah, I can go first.
You have the handy-dandy notepad out.
I can go first. I'm extra prepared today. I have everything written down.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. So let me know when you're ready. If you got a timer.
Timer. I forgot. Dude, so unprofessional. Oh. I'm usually on it. Today, I don't know what's happening today with me. All right. 5 minutes on the clock starting now.
What is the best movie theater snack?
Peanut M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms. Okay, that's a biased question. That's a biased answer, but we'll
Why
take
is that
it.
Biased?
Because you love peanut M&Ms. I don't think anyone else. I don't know anyone else who would go. That's where I want in the movie theater. But I respect it though. I respect
Popcorn's overrated. I'm sorry. It's one of the most.
We'll heavily disagree. We'll talk about that some other
Especially
time.
buttered popcorn. People that put butter.
God.
People that put butter on their popcorn is absolutely outrageous.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Worst movie you ever saw with a group of people? What do you mean butter? Popcorn is outrageous. Butter on popcorn? Okay,
yeah, it's just outrageous, bro. It's all sticky and shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, okay, dog. Worst movie you ever saw with a group of people?
So not more than 2?
More than 2. More than just you and another guy. Group of people. Because we went to go see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I wanted to make it like a...
Rise of Beast, Transformers Rise of Beast.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
that
the
movie's
worst?
ass.
I mean, if that's the worst movie you ever saw with a group of people, that's pretty decent.
But, like, I can't think of another ass movie.
Really?
In the theaters that I went to. Like, I was like, oh, I want to go see that. And then it was just ass.
That's true. I want to say mine was probably episode 8 when I walked out.
I love that movie. Oh, Rise of Skywalker. I change it. Rise of Skywalker. I forgot Star Wars is a thing. I forgot Star Wars.
That's up there as well for me. What's the worst movie to watch after a breakup?
Worst movie to watch after a breakup. Shit. Like, are you like a feel good movie that's like, oh fuck these people for getting together?
Like any movie that's gonna make you.
The Wedding Planner.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's
fuck that movie. No, it's a good movie. But
it's a good movie after a breakup.
After a break, I'm like, oh fuck you, two hot people.
Oh,
Matthew McConaughey and Jennifer Lopez. Fuck you, two hot people.
Make you want to kill yourself. I'm sorry, make you want to self-compromise.
That sounds sexual as fuck.
That was pretty bad. Okay, what's the one thing you wish you could bring into a movie theater but can't?
A gun. No, you know.
They tried that.
No, no, not a weapon, but damn, I don't know. I've never thought about that.
I have 2 answers for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Mine would be a cigar and a Chili's triple dipper meal.
Oh yeah, like external food, probably.
Yeah, like
which I've done before.
Yeah.
Cookout. Do you remember? Were you with me when I got the cookout shit?
Yes. Yes.
That was funny.
This man is the king of sneaking food into places.
What do you mean by that?
Waffle House.
No, you saying something here? No,
sneaking McDonald's.
I guess it would be external food, or like a camera. A camera.
A camera?
Yeah.
I'd want a cigar.
A camcorder.
I would want a camcorder for in-game style movies where like the crowd going in has an obvious like aura of expectation of what might happen.
Yeah.
I would do that. And then I have one right here. This is the last one. I can have a couple more off the dome if we got more time. Not the worst movie you've seen, but the worst movie the movie that you've hated the most when you went to go see it. Or let me rephrase that. Not the worst movie that you've ever seen, but the movie that you hated the most.
Castaway.
Really?
Yeah.
You just hate that movie through and through.
Yeah. It was back when I was living with the twins, my living situation there, and they were like, we were showing each other movies. It was like that phase. Hey, I'm gonna show you.
It's a fun phase.
It's like when you're living with friends. I mean, that's like it's like peak. It's like, hey, I'm gonna show you this movie. You show me your movies, and one of their movies one day was Castaway.
Really?
And I was like, dude, I've always wanted to see that movie. I can't wait. It's gonna be fucking fire. All the way through the movie, I'm like, hell yeah, this is fire.
Hell yeah.
And then I hated it so much.
Dead last at the very end. Do you want to say what happened at the end?
Well, at the end, so he's on this island, and his whole purpose of the movie is to him get off the island and back to his wife and family. Mm. And he gets off the island, by his own measure, right? Like he it's all him, dude.
He clutches up,
and fucking. He gets back, and his wife has already found another guy and had a baby with him. And then the movie made it seem like, oh, it's okay. She's still a good person. They still love each other.
Life goes on.
But no, dude, you couldn't wait 2 years to already then move on with your life and have a kid when you didn't have a kid with Tom Hanks. You had a kid with this guy. It's like, and then you want to be like, oh, I'm in love with you. At the end, it's like, bro, then be together, dumb
For
fuck.
real. Like, what is that? Like, what?
It's like, so The Walking Dead, for example. The reason that Walking Dead's not as popular anymore, through like the first 8 seasons, it was so popular, or 7 seasons or whatever.
Season 10 had a really good episode with Negan in it, like his.
Oh, maybe it was 10 seasons. Anyway, but it gets to a point where the main character Rick has gone through so much that it's time is up, by the way.
Oh, well.
Either do you have another question?
Nah, that's it.
Okay, either it's like too much has happened to him that we care for him so much. If you haven't seen The Walking Dead, spoiler alert, his son dies. That's when it's like, yo, this dude has gone through so fucking much. Can we just like cut him a break and like, I don't know, reincarnate his son? Like,
let him have sex with Michonne or something. You know, just
I don't know, dude. So it's like it's one of those things, Castaway, where
it's
name?
Like the girl with the sword.
Michonne. Mo. I called her Mo.
I thought it was Michonne.
Maybe I didn't call her Mo. Anyway, she was one of my favorite characters. Actually.
She was awesome.
Samurai, pretty much.
Yeah.
But Castaway has that Walking Dead effect where it's like he's gone through so much,
and
he still doesn't win at the end.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He still hasn't won yet. Like the closest to a win he's got, spoilers. He sees a helicopter, like he comes, like he's not dead, and then he comes back and he's like he's walking through the woods and it shows him and he sees like a helicopter and there's like a higher level of civilization that's out there or something. That's the biggest one he's gotten in the whole series.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's such a small win comparatively.
Yeah, because he hasn't gotten anything yet.
Yeah. So yeah, Castaway, I hate that fucking movie so fucking much.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not the biggest fan of Castaway. That's for sure.
I think it's one of the more overrated movies of all time.
I heavy agree. Valid. Not valid or invalid, but that's a valid take.
All right. 5 minutes on the clock for you. You ready?
All right, let's hear it.
5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1. Swift interrogation. Go. What has been your favorite age so far?
That's a hard one. That's really a hard one. Probably. I feel like right now, like I'm always happy where I'm at right now because I learn new things every year. I have new things every year, things that I never thought I would have. So I'm happy where I'm at. I like just continuing to get older and grow.
I like 16.
16 was. We were both 16 the same year, so I feel like a lot of that had to do with just the year.
The year was so good.
The music, the games, Pokemon Go, sports. Oh my lord, the
sports
biggest
that year was insane.
More than insane, it was cinematic. Like it was ridiculous.
3-1 comeback against the Warriors.
Man, Pokemon like
Tennessee had a Hail Mary against Georgia.
Dude, yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
anyway,
probably either right now or 2016.
And it's like you're first getting to drive, and it's like everything's new. You feel like the most freedom you've ever had in your entire life, and it's also like the least amount of some responsibility you're gonna have while with the most freedom.
True.
It's 16 is such a solid age.
Okay, there we go.
What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Lazy dinner, hot dog, every time. Put that bitch in the microwave, bun in the microwave for 11 seconds after you put it in there. You could put Chick-fil-A sauce on it, ketchup and mayo, mustard, relish, anything. It's just easy. Or a bird dog, make a hot dog with chicken, fried chicken. It's too easy. Hot dog every time.
Big fire. What is one of your nicknames?
They call me... back in the day, they used to call me the full fulcrum. Right?
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, like mostly just the fulcrum is what they call it.
What is fulcrum? What is that?
Well, it's like I have the ability to like have leverage in a situation, change things. You know, like when I played basketball, they called me the hatchet because they sent me into foul. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. All right. What's your favorite thing to do in the summertime?
Sit in the pool or wave pool at like any water park. A wave pool.
Oh, dude, like a lazy river
or like a water slide, bro.
Oh,
like,
just going to a water park. Then.
Anything like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Like a natural shores type of beat.
Oh yeah, or just like going to a national park or something.
Holiday World.
Holiday World,
is fire.
They got drinks for free at
We
every
should
corner.
go this summer. I'm so down. Holiday
I
World?
literally would do nothing but just walk around and drink soda all day.
It's free soda?
Yeah, it's one of the best parts.
But you wouldn't go on rides and shit?
Not like roller coasters. You'll never catch me on a roller coaster.
No, a water slide. Like a wildebeest?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not anything that I'm going to get trembling legs walking up the stairs, yeah.
What is the stupidest dare you ever agreed to?
I remember my buddy, oh God, I remember we were at my buddy's dad's house, and he had this pistol, right? And we would just go out and shoot Coke cans. And I remember I had the pistol. He's like, here, go put it up against a tree and pistol whip it, right? And so it's just where you just take it, and I had it like basically I was holding the barrel of the gun, finger in the trigger guard with the hilt. With the handle sticking out, right? And I go and I bash this thing up against the tree, and the gun goes off, fires, and a round goes into my buddy's truck, just right in the rear bed. And that was
A similar thing happened to me with one of those candlestick Roman candle.
Yeah,
I was videotaping me holding it, and then the Snapchat video ran out, and so I just went like this. I was like looking at the phone, looking at the recording, and the Roman candle shot towards a group of people, and dude, the dude, he was like boxes or whatever. He like legit did a boxing maneuver and went like this and just dodged it, and he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he made a joke about it. I was like, at least I'm good with boxing.
You know what's funny? That reminds me of something that happened. It was 1 year 4th of July. This was like 2 years ago. This was recent, right? We do fireworks on our front lawn because it's massive, right? It was 4th of July. We had like people bring fireworks to our house too, so we can just have a really long fireworks show. They brought these ones that came with like a tube. You like light it, drop it down, and it goes, fume, 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 poo, 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 like explodes in the air. The first one went off, and the tube fell over, and like around the corner, like if you've been to my house, you know there's like a corner with two roads, kind of like diverge.
A T.
A motorcycle's coming around the corner. A guy like on a Harley, right? It shoots onto the road, goes doo, shoots on the road, explodes, and he drives through the explosion. Like sparks are flying off his motorcycle.
Someone should have been recording.
If it would have been the most badass thing on the planet because it looked awesome.
Have you ever?
Keep going.
Have you ever Roman candled war? Have you ever done a Roman candle war?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
We did one in my parking lot of my school on 4th of July at night, and it was the most fun thing ever. There was like 5 of us, just like
you feel like a wizard.
My Laker LeBron James jersey. There's a hole in there. That's from a Roman candle.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's from getting hit with a Roman candle.
Dude, 2020 was a magical year too.
Yeah.
It was a magical year.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I don't think that was 20. I think it was 2019.
2019? Mm-hmm. That was one of
Yeah. All right. That was Swift Interrogation. I think that was one of my favorite ones so far.
That was pretty good.
I liked it. Now, new segment. I'm excited for this segment. We came up with this like literally a couple days ago.
It's called It's Been a While.
No,
I'm joking. Yeah.
It's called 4 for 4. Foul for foul.
It's called the $5
Chipping
Biggie
on
Bag.
fofos. What is the song?
It's Still Tipping. I'm Mike Jones.
Is it?
Tipping on fofos.
Yeah, that should
be fo-hos.
That should be our soundbite for this.
I don't even know if I said the lyrics right.
4 for 4. How this works is it's 4 different top 4 lists. So if you've ever been on Letterboxd, it's like your top 4 movies. It's sort of like that, but with like different categories.
Do they just do top 4 movies?
I think so. It's like a Mount Rushmore head type of thing. It's like
okay.
They don't do top 5, top 10s. You know how like IMDb has a top 10?
Hundo?
No.
Man.
They have 4. It's their Letterboxd top 4.
I respect anybody with a top 100 list made.
I have a top 200 list made.
That's
now.
far.
Yeah, you have a 500 list made.
Yeah, but I don't advertise that because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, this guy's a freaking nerd." This guy.
But you are a nerd.
I am a nerd. I know. I know. If they could
just
see,
look at the background.
Yeah, this is all my junk. You know what I'm saying? But I like it because it's an essence of my personality on shit. No.
Okay, here we go. 4 for 4.
Are we just gonna do your first 4, my first 4, your second 4?
I would like to do alternating.
Alternating.
You'll do with your 4th place. I'll go with my 4th place. Then your 3rd place.
I meant like we do my movies, your movies, my actors, your actors.
Oh, we both do movies. We both do directors.
I think we're saying the same.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we're just gonna go top 4. We're gonna start with our top 4 movies of all time.
Yes.
Our top 4, not necessarily the best top 4, but what we think is what we know is our favorite top 4. So we're gonna start with movies, then top 4 directors, then top 4 actors, then top 4 TV shows.
Correct.
We're going to do this with a whole bunch of different categories. There'll probably be a music one down the line. There'll probably be a just like random miscellaneous type of categories. Do you want to go first with your top 4 movies?
I can go first with my number 4.
Number 4, top 4 movies of all time. Your number 4.
My 4th favorite movie of all time. Might have heard of it, might have not. You've definitely heard of the main character. Godzilla versus Megalon.
Okay, word.
One of the more controversial ones, not because anything crazy happens in the movie, but just because the movie itself is crazy, kind of off the wall. So much so that the Italian name for it is At the Borders of Reality. It's a crazy movie, more child-oriented, but at the same time, it still has that 2007 Transformers, just big things fighting feel. Some of the best monster action in any movie ever. The cinematography for a monster movie is quite exquisite. I can't help but love that movie. If anyone ever says, "Hey, you want to put on Godzilla versus Megalon?" you will never ever hear me complain.
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Jun Fukuda that directed it.
Jun Fukuda.
Akira Takarada. Something Takarada.
Something Japanese.
Yeah, they're I'm not good with Japanese names.
Me neither. When I want to watch anime, it's like, dude, it's gonna take me at least 100 episodes to like get down like the main 5 characters' names.
Oh yeah, I mean like the few that I was able.
Except for like One Piece, that's so easy. One Piece is like Luffy, Zoro, Nami. Sanji, it's so easy. Yeah.
Plus the characters.
Usopp.
Yeah, I mean
Frankie. Literally have a dude named Frankie in the damn.
And they have like really. Well, first of all, the character introductions solidify them in your head.
They have whole arcs introducing them.
Dude, like Frankie, bro, like him coming along on the crew, like that was legendary, bro. Everything, like
Water 7, that was them.
Mm-hmm.
That was him.
Which this is not about One Piece, but
fire though.
Yeah.
I will be mentioning One Piece later. Just letting you know that now.
Yeah,
I
understand. Yeah.
My number 4 movie of all time is The Shawshank Redemption.
Fair.
It's over there. It fell off the wall. It was up on my wall earlier, but it's right behind you.
The
poster for it. Love Shawshank Redemption. I think it's one of the better stories ever told. It's not one of those action-packed, fast-paced movies. It's more about the character. It's more of a character. What is that? What are those?
Character-oriented.
Yeah, it's a character-based movie. But there's a word for it.
What do you mean?
It's a word for it. Like an actor is a character actor. Is that what I'm looking for?
A method? Not method actor.
No,
but
there's like different types of acting. Anyway, it's just a character-based movie. It's driven home by the characters. Tim Robbins is phenomenal in it, but Morgan Freeman really takes it home. I think.
I don't know. Tim Robbins as Andy Dufresne is one of the better cast roles I think of all time.
I haven't really seen him in anything else either, which is crazy.
He hasn't been. Well, he's actually been in quite a few other things, but
nothing as famous as The Shawshank
Redemption.
Redemption.
Nowhere near as famous. Like nowhere near.
And
as
for
famous.
a while, it was number 1 on IMDb's top 100.
Yeah.
It's now number 2 behind The Godfather.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Shawshank Redemption, my 4th favorite movie of all time. I just think it's like well put together. That was one of the movies the twins showed me, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I just recently watched that movie. Well, not recently, like in the past 5 years I've watched it. But
that's a rewatchable movie.
I showed them Interstellar. They hated it. I hate them. And then they showed me the Shawshank, and I was like, yeah, this is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Shawshank is ridiculously good, based on the Count of Monte Cristo, which I believe they mentioned in the movie,
which is in the year 2002, which we are ranking today. Maybe it's in one of our top 5s. Who knows?
I thought Shawshank came out in '98.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, I'm stupid.
With Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I was talking about the book, though.
But yeah, that's my number 4 movie. Your number 3.
My number 3 is a movie that you might have heard of. If you have, kudos to you. Absolutely. I think this might be the greatest movie of all time, especially from like a filmmaker's perspective, somebody who cares about film. 8.5, Italian movie, 1963, Federico Fellini.
It's a foreign film?
Foreign film, black and white
subtitles?
with black and white with subtitles, so that might automatically
That's a jackass movie right there. Whoa.
That's funny. I like that, though. I get what you're saying, because my name is Jack.
But you're an elitist when it comes to films.
Kind of, yeah. But
then when it comes to monster movies, it's, I don't know. It's like you like what you like.
That's what I think. I think that there's no such thing as a set mold for a perfect movie. Like a perfect movie can be just about anything, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to Frankenstein Conquers the World. That's
why I think there's more perfect movies than anything perfect in any other category ever.
I
think
easily,
like if you look at paintings, there's not going to be as many 10 out of 10
Very
paintings.
Few.
There's not going to be as many 10 out of 10 songs.
Very
there's not
few.
Gonna, there's
Let
not
alone
gonna be,
like albums, because a movie's not like a song. A movie's like an album of music. You know what I'm saying? With various scenes carrying the overall tone. You know, then the amount of perfect music albums very slim. There's like one right there, but very, very slim.
Pink Floyd or the
Pink Floyd
Court of the Crimson King? Is that
Pink Floyd is right there, also a perfect album. There's like 3 perfect albums behind me that I would consider.
I didn't know you like Beach Boys like that.
Pet Sounds and the Smile Sessions are like 2 projects that they released. Well, one was unreleased until 2011. Absolutely masterful.
I get around.
That's on that one.
My dad's favorite band.
Really, the Beach Boys. Mm-hmm. That's respectable. Genuinely respectable.
He looks like a Beach Boy now.
He definitely could be. He looks like Brian Wilson knows him.
But 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, it's a movie directed by Federico Fellini. In my opinion, the best cinematography, direction, acting all around in a movie. It's about a movie director, and it's about Federico Fellini himself. So in real life, he had done an episode of a TV show and 7 movies. So this movie would be his 8.5th movie type shit. So that's why it's called 8.5. And the whole thing is about him putting together a movie, and that ends up being the movie itself. It's a very insane way to convey a plot. The whole time is him slipping out of his dreams and imagination, some surreal imagery.
What year?
1963. Same year as King Kong versus Godzilla released in America.
You're such a nerd.
Well, I mean, that's one of the cooler monster movies of all time. So.
All right. Well, my number 3, it's a little bit more mainstream than that.
I don't. This is all personal. I understand.
Yeah, he's making me feel like I'm an idiot or something. I don't know.
Dude, all movies have the ability to be great movies.
But this is probably the most mainstream movie we're going to talk about today.
Really?
Yeah.
Or of all time?
No.
No?
No, it's not. It's not.
We talked about like Star Wars and stuff. So.
Yeah. My number 3 movie of all time, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Dog, don't ever like downplay yourself for liking that movie, dog.
It's so good.
You don't understand. When you talked about the greatest story ever told, right? Talking about like Shawshank Redemption, right? That's also up there. Like you're talking about,
and from a Disney ride. It's made from a Disney ride, dude.
Like, yeah, really? It was really. That's crazy. It was originally a Disney ride.
And dude, just the most. Probably up there with the top 5 most iconic characters ever portrayed on screen is Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. When you think about like the amount of people cosplaying as him to this day, just like walking around,
it's like Elvis.
Yeah, it's like Elvis or Darth Vader or Batman at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's up there.
It's way up there, beyond up there.
It's just like nonstop, an hour and a half to 2 hours of just pure entertainment. And
I mean, the same thing could be said about the other 2 movies coming afterwards. Like they're not as great as far as
it's not an hour and a half to 2 hours of pure entertainment though. It's not like pure entertainment. It's like storytelling. It's like well put together cinematography. You know what I mean?
To me, that's pure entertainment.
I got you.
Doesn't always. I
meant like more like just mind numbing watching. Cool action and
fair,
music. Just
the music is
my favorite soundtrack of all time.
Like the music is 10 out of 10 up there with like Star Wars, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on level of just like raw perfect soundtracks. Yeah, man. Like you got
Yeah, it's just so good. So
it's
good.
all perfect.
Yep, that's my number 3.
I get it, man. I get it.
I'm a basic bitch.
It's not basic. It's an awesome movie.
Awesome movie.
I would say it's a more awesome movie than 8.5. You know what I'm saying?
Don't downgrade your movies.
No, it's an awesome movie. Like 8.5.
No, you hang
is,
up.
8. No, it's just like 8.5 is not like a whoa, that was awesome. Like if you're like a cinema nerd, you're like, how'd they do that? That was maybe, but like, you know what I'm saying? Pirates of the Caribbean is more accessible for a reason because it's fucking sick.
And my favorite scene happens in the first 30 minutes of that movie. Like the
Which one?
From the moment you see Jack Sparrow enter on the boat that's sinking.
Oh, dude, and he walks
sinking
onto
down,
the dock.
and he walks onto the dock, and then like a couple scenes later, he's like talking to the two like dummies on the boat, and he's like just slowly sneaking past him while he gets onto the boat.
And they're like great characters too. They're in every single movie.
And then Elizabeth Swann falls off, and he goes saves her. He gets out. They have all guns pointed on him. He pulls the sleeve. He has the tattoo of a pirate, and then all of a sudden he just like. He then takes his handcuffs and puts them around Elizabeth Swann's neck, and then the chase scene after that. It's just like the best 10 minutes of a movie I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. It's just like yeah, and it's like bum bum ba-dum. It's just perfect.
And then he meets Will.
And then he meets Will, and the story. And then they steal the ship. That happens 10 minutes later.
That was awesome, bro.
They have a ship that's not as fast, and they jump on the other one, and then they're like, "That's the best pirate I've ever seen."
Yeah.
It seems so. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh no, he goes, and so it may seem.
So it may seem.
I
Was it Norrington, right? Or
I don't know. And it's casted so fucking perfectly.
Oh yeah.
From Barbossa to
even the
Jack
minor
Sparrow.
characters. Remember, like the guy with one eye. It's always
those
coming
two.
out? Yeah.
Yes,
perfect.
And they're in almost every movie as well.
They're in every movie. The first 3.
Yeah, the first 3.
Yeah. Everyone's
in the first 3. That's one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
The only ones that matter.
Yeah. All right, your number 2.
My number 2 all-time favorite movie, King Kong, 1933, the original.
He's on the Empire State Building, you know.
It's just there's something about that movie in particular, like Godzilla vs. Megalon, that just warms my heart. It's sequel to Son of Kong, which not enough people have seen. It's a direct sequel to the first one. It's very similar to where like
King Kong's not the first. King Kong 1933 is not the first King Kong movie.
That is the first King Kong.
Oh,
movie.
what do you?
There's a
Son of Kong is
Son
the
of
sequel.
Kong is the sequel.
Word.
Yeah. And it follows. It's so funny. This isn't about Son of Kong, but Son of Kong follows like 3 months after what happens in New York, right? And for those who don't know somehow, Carl Denham takes King Kong from his island to New York after he like does the whole thing with the big gate and the natives and the native islanders, and they're all like, oh, and all that Kong stuff. They takes him to New York. He's up there chained, and then he's like, all the cameras start flashing, and then he sees the woman. He goes, and then breaks the chains, kills a bunch of people, climbs into a building, breaks a building, climbs down, climbs up the Empire State Building, takes down like 2 planes, gets shot down. Robert Denham then goes, well, seems as it was beauty that killed the beast. And then everyone with a brain goes, no, Robert, it was you that killed the beast. And it's funny because not enough people have seen Son of Kong. It picks up like 3 months later, right? And the movie was also made the same year. Like the movie was made like 3 months later and shipped out in like 6 months. Ridiculous timing. Picks up, he's like in an apartment in New York, like hiding his face. And people are just like hounding him, like, it's your fault. It's all you. It's perfect.
Son of Kong?
Son of Kong.
You're not talking about your second favorite movie.
Yeah, I mean, I lumped them together.
I was just confused for a second.
I lumped them together.
You lumped them together, guys.
I have to lump them together. I think they're just as good. That first one set the tone for everything that we have now. We wouldn't have Godzilla versus Kong, any Godzilla movie if it wasn't for King Kong.
Yeah, if King Kong doesn't work in the U.S., it definitely Godzilla would not ever come over from Japan.
King Kong made its rounds in Japan in 1934, 1935.
That's what I mean. But like because people like the King Kong stuff at the beginning,
Godzilla would have never
Godzilla
worked.
was an easy transition.
Of course.
Like 10, 20 years later?
1933, 1954.
So 21 years later. So yeah, they were like, oh, well, we've seen this monster movie of King Kong. I mean, this is kind of the same thing, but just more Japanese.
It's more, but like less human involved. It's more like the human element of the plot being like in Godzilla versus King Kong. King Kong's like, okay, yeah, man needs to not mess with nature, and there's a disparity between like civilized man and then man as a beast with its lust towards woman. And there's a lot of deep like masculine themes in the first King Kong movie, and then the Godzilla movie is more like this is a walking embodiment of the folly of man, nature's own form of destruction as recompense for our atomic warfare and stuff, and it's just dark and heavy, and they're both great for those reasons. But I like the original King Kong more.
Gotcha. Number 2 for me, favorite movie of all time, It's a Wonderful Life.
Understandable.
It's a Wonderful Life, I think, one of the oldest movies I've ever seen.
1936?
1940. 1945.
I want to say 46. I feel like 6.
I think it might be 1945.
Really?
44, somewhere around
Maybe.
there. It could be 46 too. It could be. Anyway, man. I should know this, but It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, talk about a story being told. I mean, it's not really about the story though. The story, you know, it's like pretty. Not, I wouldn't say basic, but it's like the message.
It's pretty heavy.
The message is what is my favorite part about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a religious guy. And it has to do with God.
It does.
And it has to do with, at your worst moment in life, it still can get worse.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're like, just seeing your life, what it would be like without you being there, is just like so much worse than you actually living your life and being around your loved ones, even if it's shit. Even if your life is like going down the drain, you have a house falling apart, you're going bankrupt, there's still people in the world that care about you and will help you.
Of course.
It's better than not being there at all. Anybody who is struggling with, you know, suicide and struggling with, you know, depression, struggling with not wanting, you know, to be good enough in life, watch that movie. It will get you out of the dumps every single time. Every single time.
I would say out of all the movies made around that time, especially in the 40s, right? The 40s was kind of lackluster when it came to movies. 30s was great. 20s was super experimental. 50s was when like special effects and stuff started taking off. 60s where it was perfected. You know what I'm saying? The 40s was kind of rough. Mostly just noir gangster flicks.
Well, no, it has some good shit in there.
It had some
Rope,
Hitchcock
Rope
stuff.
is in there.
Rope was good. That's late 40s.
Jimmy
48.
Stewart, it was the king of 40s.
Easily,
James
I'll give you
Stewart,
that.
Jimmy
I'll
Stewart.
absolutely give you the anatomy. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, most of his best stuff came out in the 50s, though. I would say, because if you're talking like Vertigo, Rear Window, Anatomy of a Murder type stuff, like I would.
He started in the 40s though, no, or maybe he started in the 30s.
I started in the late 30s. I know
Gotcha.
that. But yeah, I mean, he's
big, huge Jimmy Stewart fan here. James Stewart, big, huge.
Likewise, he's if this was a top 5, he would have been on my top 5 actors list. Yeah.
Your number 1 movie of all time, and we got to keep this a little brief, you know.
Yeah, I went on King Kong. Yeah, so yeah, my number 1 movie of all time. I'm gonna talk about it more in the future. I already know we've been back on it. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Sergio Leone, 1966. Probably the greatest Western ever made. If you want to hear someone more intelligent than me talk about it, listen to Quentin Tarantino.
You showed me this movie, and it is my favorite Western of all time.
I understand. It's the only thing I will say is if you're not initiated, it is long. Like it's very long.
It's not as long. It's not as long as like say Gone with the Wind or.
Gone with gosh, I talk about another overrated movie.
Is Gone with the Wind in your top 500?
No.
Me neither.
It's not one of my top 500 or favorite 500.
Frankly, my dear.
I don't give a shit. That would have been.
Damn.
It would have. I know, but it would have been up there if they would have said that.
All right. Good. Yeah. I mean, no one's gonna fault you on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
one.
Soundtrack, direction, acting, cinematography.
Yep.
Like, not
set design, set the pieces.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Well, it's not really set pieces. It's just set.
They have some like old shanty towns and stuff, and like they blow some stuff up.
Some clay towns.
Yeah, and the bridge scene, when they blow up that bridge, that was massive.
When we went to Santa Fe, did it kind of remind you of kind of like that?
A little bit. Reminds me of the beginning of The Good, the Bad, and the
Yep.
Ugly. When Angel Eyes is walking into that guy's house and he like eats his bread and he's like,
And that trilogy's great too.
it is.
The
It's,
Dollar trilogy.
in my opinion, it's the greatest trilogy of all time. It's like that, Lord of the Rings, maybe Pirates of the Caribbean, the first 3.
Pirates of the Caribbean, you had to add
I mean,
that.
I didn't have to, but I just did because it belongs there.
Hell yeah. All right, my number 1, keep this, I've talked about this movie quite a bit actually, Interstellar. And is it in the frame? Is it in
It
the
is most definitely in the frame.
Yeah, it's in the frame. So
the top half of it is.
It is. It used to be the set piece of my room, but I wanted to put it in the frame because it means that much to me. Interstellar, I mean, talk about a message in a movie. I mean, that has a great message as well. Has one of the better plot twists I've ever seen. All the things, the first hour of that movie, I used to think were when I first watched it, I was like, okay, let's get on with it. But it is necessary. It is necessary for that hour to be what it is. It's set up for the second half of the movie so fucking perfectly. There's nothing wrong with the movie throughout the movie. It's just pure perfection to me for a 2014 movie. That's 10 years ago now. It still holds up better than any other sci-fi movie I've ever seen.
It really doesn't take that long to kick off when you rewatch it.
When you rewatch it, yeah, because you know.
Because like as soon as he's in that truck driving away from the house, it's gone. Like it's straight gone.
But like the dust stuff and the
It's like 15 minutes though.
Yeah, I get it. And listen, it's my favorite movie of all time, and I would not change a single thing about the movie now. So I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that most people, or maybe not most people, some people may see it and be like, it was kind of slow at the beginning, and
Rewatch
that's fine.
it. That's the only advice I have.
And the thing about that movie, more than any other movie I've ever watched, there is more you learn every single time you watch it. And there's no movie on this planet Earth, maybe other than About Time, which would be like 5th or 6th for me on this list.
Ooh.
About Time and Interstellar makes me cry at least every single time without question.
There's a couple movies there for me. Like what's not on here, but Blade Runner makes me cry. That first Blade Runner movie, bro, that's such a hard one for me to watch.
Gotcha.
It just gets me.
That's our Letterboxd top 4. Now we got to move fast with these top 4 directors. I'll start. Number 4 director of all time for me is Quentin Tarantino.
Understandable.
Quentin Tarantino is 9 films now.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten one in 5 years.
Once Upon a Time in the West was the last one.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah. Just not. It hasn't been of late. Per se, but it is that good. He is that good of a director, though. I think he's the best dialogue writer I've ever seen. The dialogue, his movies are always dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
And it's even in action movies like Kill Bill, the dialogue's still so fucking good. Yeah, I mean, it's the consistency for him. It's not like none of his movies other than Pulp Fiction are like up there for me, but it's like just consistency. Every movie's a banger. Every single movie's a banger.
I get that. For that reason, I have this not a similar director, but a guy who inspired your director at my number 4, which might not make sense.
Sergio Leone?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
See, I'm a film guy, dude.
You got it. He got it. That's my number 4. Though he directed my favorite movie of all time, he's not my favorite director. I like the way that he uses the music to complement his films and makes the music first and makes the film around that. Was not the first to do it. I have that guy on here as well. I'm pretty sure the first guy to do it on here as well. I think because he's got, as far to my knowledge, he's got the Dollars trilogy, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He's got Duck You Sucker, Once Upon a Time in the West, and then Once Upon a Time in America, which is more like a gangster flick, right? Kind of more like a gangster flick. They're all amazing, like ridiculously amazing. Because of that, I love all of his movies, so I put him at number 4. He's my easy number 4.
Decent number 4. Number 3 for me is David Fincher.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just the consistency factor. There's not a movie that he has made that I have seen. I haven't seen all of his movies, but there is not a single movie that I've seen from him that is subpar.
Really?
I haven't seen one.
Interesting.
I haven't seen the big ones, though. I haven't seen, like Fight Club.
Okay, dog. Okay.
I haven't seen Fight Club. I've been putting it off because it has such hype around it, so I'm just like...
He might be higher after that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Number 2 or number 1?
Maybe number 2. Definitely, he's not going to... He's not... I already know you. He's not replacing that number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Social Network. Even the new movie last year, The Killer, was great.
That was really good.
7 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I would say that's
period.
his second or third best.
7, what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box? Frosted Flakes.
Gone Girl. Oh my God. The Curious Case of Benjamin. Zodiac, dude. Come on. Panic Room. This guy has made fucking bangers. I don't know why I couldn't think of Zodiac or Gone Girl. Those are one of my favorite movies ever. But yeah, I mean, just he's the reason he's over Tarantino is because he has more of my favorite movies.
Understandable.
The higher we go, we're gonna get more and more of my favorite movies.
That's what I'm talking about. Even though this guy's got my personal favorite, the rest of his stuff, like I was talking about Leone, like it's because he got my personal favorite. The rest of his stuff ranks lower than some of the other people's stuff on here.
And your number 3 is what?
My number 3 is Akira Kurosawa, and I have a slash in here. I kind of Akira Kurosawa / Hitchcock. It was really hard for me to leave one of them off of this list. Like impossible for me to do.
So you have 5 directors on there.
Not really. I'm only going to touch on Kurosawa. I just wanted to mention Hitchcock for everything that he's done for movies and cinematography. Kurosawa, he was like the first guy to really use music to complement his movies. He made The Hidden Fortress, which is what inspired Star Wars. He made Yojimbo, which is what inspired The Fistful of Dollars. Like he's arguably, he's like the Howlin' Wolf of movies, where just everything that he did brought upon everything else that came afterwards, and it's all. And imagine like Star Wars as a samurai movie, or The Fistful of Dollars as a samurai movie, and that's what you're getting with him. And they're masterpieces. Perfect cinematography, perfect soundtrack, perfect acting, direct. It's all perfect. So I love Kurosawa. Love Kurosawa.
For my number 2 director of all time, we got Steven Spielberg.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to even have him on this list. But the more and more I look at his filmography, just to name a few, Minority Report.
Tom Cruise.
Catch Me If You Can. The Terminal. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Lincoln, which is a sleeper, if you've ever seen that movie. It's a sleeper of a movie.
Was that 2014?
2012.
2012.
2012. Schindler's List. Saving Private Ryan. E.T. I mean, dude, this dude he has arguably the Jaws. This is like one of his first movies he ever made.
Yeah.
That's what made him go to the leap of fame, like a Memento with Christopher Nolan did. It's like, but Jaws is probably more mainstream because it's like a shark movie. He has so many shark movies because guess what? Jaws was so.
It's the shark movie.
It's the shark movie, and then this is what put him in number 2. It was number 3, and because I had number 2 at David Fincher. This movie, because of the nostalgic factor, I did not know he made this movie. Hook.
You didn't know he made Hook?
Didn't know he made Hook.
Really?
Robin Williams, God rest his soul. Dude, the level you have to be to make a classic like Hook, and then also go on to like make Lincoln, and go on to make like Catch Me If You Can.
You realize,
the level of like disparity.
You realize Hook and like Schindler's List were made very close to each other, right? Like they were made like
Schindler's List 1993, Hook 1991.
There you go. That's what I'm like. That's range.
That's range as fuck.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Spielberg fan at all, but
I just want to give a shout out to Hook. I mean, once I knew he made that movie, and I didn't know he made that movie. Big Friendly Giant's pretty good too. Have you ever seen that movie?
I'm not the biggest fan.
It's good. It's decent.
I like Schindler's List, Hook, and The Terminal. Like as for like the
Do
Terminal.
You like Minority Report and Catch Me If You Can?
I do like Catch Me If You Can. I do like Minority Report. I like Catch Me If You Can a lot more than Minority Report.
Both movies came out in 2002, by the way. Minority Report and which is our year that we're doing next.
Yeah, you're gonna see something like
Spielberg was the king of the early 2000s with Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, and even the 90s too. Schindler's List, Jurassic Park came out in the same year, 1993. Indiana Jones came out in the 80s.
Schindler's List and Jurassic Park came out in 93.
Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, 1993. 2002, Catch Me If You Can, and Minority Report. E.T. came out in the 80s. Jaws came out in the 80s. Indiana Jones came out in the 80s. Then he has 90s like Hook, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan. Then he has 2000s, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, and more Indiana Jones. And then he's got his newer stuff, which is not as good to me. But just from the 80s to the early 2000s, to me, I mean, there's a reason he didn't even go to USC, and he has a library named after him.
Yeah.
It's just he's that goated to me.
A lot of people consider him to be the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, he's like mainstream. I'd say like mainstream.
It's because he's had like the most bangers. He's had the most bangers.
He's had a lot. He's had too many to count. Like if you from Jaws into Indiana Jones into Hook into Schindler's List into The Terminal. I don't like E.T. at all. I hate that movie. Like very much. I don't get any of the hype at all. Like it's just to me that's like the most 80s movie like ever made. It's just like an alien and then he eats Reese's Pieces and then the FBI. Like I remember my grandpa being like, I wish the FBI got that sucker and studied him, cut him open. I'm like, yeah, me too, Grandpa. Me too. Not the cool grandpa, the piece of shit grandpa.
E.T.'s great, and how dare you?
How
fucking
I think
dare
the government would have benefited more from studying him.
Just another nostalgic movie for me, man. E.T., I watched that growing up.
I don't have any nostalgia for that. When I think nostalgic movie, I'm like The Iron Giant or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or The Incredibles. That's nostalgic.
Yeah, sure. The Incredibles, yeah. But
hey, what's wrong with The Iron Giant now? Brad Bird.
I've never seen that movie in my life.
You've never seen The Iron Giant?
No. I don't know if I've ever heard of it.
Okay, now you're tripping. Okay, you're tripping. Superman. You stay, I go. You've never seen The Iron Giant?
What's your number 2 movie of all time,
dude? This movie?
Or director?
But no, you've actually never seen The Iron Giant.
No. Never heard of it.
You've never heard of it? You're trolling. Okay, he's trolling.
I'm not trolling.
That's a troll. Oh, we're not even recording, bro. I'm joking. I had to get you. I had to get you because you're trying to get me, bro. My number 2.
I'm really not trying to get you right now.
You've never heard of the Iron Giant?
No. And who's Brad Pitt?
Brad Bird.
Oh, you said Brad Pitt.
Brad Bird. Oh no, did I say Brad Pitt? Oh, my bad. Brad Bird. But
sure, dude. Iron
that's
Giant's crazy.
It is amazing.
So good.
It is unbelievably amazing.
Yeah.
My number 2 director.
Everyone's heard of that movie.
Everyone has heard of the Iron Giant.
You just shit on E.T. and
No, but like everyone has heard of the Iron Giant.
I've seen the Iron Giant, dickhead.
I was about to say.
But
like,
E.T.'s great. How fucking dare you?
It's not that good, bro. It's just not that good. My number 2 director all time is Ishiro Honda, and you're probably like, oh, what the fuck? It's the guy who did the Godzilla movies, pretty much all the original ones. Came back to direct Terror,
and that makes sense because 2 out of your 4 are Godzilla movies
I mean,
or monster
movies. Yeah, I was about to say, but yeah, they're you had me tripping there for a second. I was like, yeah, they were, but no, yeah. Ishiro Honda was he's pretty much in every single important Godzilla movie. There have been a few that he was not involved with, like Smog Monster, Gigan, Megalon. The first Mechagodzillas were Fukuda and forget somebody else.
It's a Japanese name. You're not gonna.
I was almost said Akira Takarada, but it's not. But yeah, it's just everything that he's done, I've loved. He also did like Gorath, War in Space, Frankenstein, Conquers the World. Like he's done all my favorite monster movies outside of King Kong. So yeah, him. it's him.
My favorite director of all time is Christopher Nolan.
Really?
Shut up. Really?
Really? I had no idea.
I mean, just his top 6 movies of all time are like all in my top 25. I mean, it's like he makes up a fourth of my top 25 list.
I mean, like I'm pretty sure like all 12 of his movies outside of, well, I guess so like 10 of his movies outside of Insomnia and It Follows or The Following.
I heard Insomnia was good though.
It is. I have not seen it though.
I think his 2 worst are probably, in my opinion, going to be Tenet and It Follows.
I'm pretty sure it's just The Following or Following.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, It Follows is not.
That's the STD movie.
Yeah. But yeah, The Following and Tenet, and then Dark Knight Rises are his bottom 3.
You think so?
Yeah,
that's crazy. But I don't know. I think his top 10 movies, like the 10 movies he's done, they're all in my favorite 500. You know what I'm saying? There's not many directors that have that in my repertoire.
And he's still making movies today, and it's we live in such a great time.
Yeah, we do. And
can I give an honorable mention before you give your number 1?
I mean, sure. I was gonna give an honorable mention as well.
Yeah. Damien Chazelle. Damien Chazelle needs some fucking props, dude. I mean, he only has 3 movies out, and the 3 movies out to me have been near perfection.
That was
start off with Whiplash,
and then don't say the next one. I need to remember La La Land, and then Babylon, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. All of them are very heavily music. All of them, like, you can just tell he has a love for jazz.
I actually rewatched La La Land after the next podcast on Wednesday before work. It's really good.
It's really It's not
good.
A musical. It is a musical, but it's really not.
No, I saw it on a bad day. I've seen a couple movies on a bad day that I've had to rewatch, and they are
And Ryan
really
Gosling
good.
is, dude...
He carries.
I love Ryan Gosling.
He carries.
I absolutely adore Ryan Gosling. Not at the level of, like, say, women above the age of 30.
True.
But I love Ryan Gosling. I love him. Everything he's been in, he has a movie coming out called The Fall Guy with Emily Blunt.
I've seen the
looks
trailers.
good.
It's a remake of another movie. There's literally a movie. I remember watching the original Fall Guy, the stuntman movie, and thinking like this is like such a campy movie, they'll never make something like this again today. And like a month later they released the trailer for Fall Guy.
The trailer is like so good.
Yeah,
to Fall Guy right now.
It's really good, bro.
What's that? It's the Queen. No, it's not a Queen song. I
don't remember the song.
Hold on. It's You Give Love a Bad Name. You get, but it's like it's in a
shot through the heart.
Yeah, it's Bon Jovi. Now that I know it, but it's like it's done in a way like it's like cinematic, and it's like it's so good. That trailer is like legit, like really fucking good. Yeah, shout out Damien Chazelle, and you're a number 1 director of all time, and your shout out real fast.
So my shout out first to the director. Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's do your shout out first.
So my shout out to F.W. Murnau. Was one of the guys that I had you just look him up. Yeah, shout out to F.W. Murnau. Didn't make it in my top 5, my top 4, but I think he belongs in there. He did Nosferatu. He did The Last Laugh. He did Faust, Sunrise, A Song Unto Humans. Probably like the greatest silent movies of all time, outside of like a handful, were pretty much made by him, and a pretty big handful, obviously. But like he just bang, 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 bang. He was like the first real, like, just let me just throw out nothing but bangers type director.
Yep.
And I love all of this
And
stuff.
your favorite director of all time?
Federico Fellini, the Italian director, the guy that did 8.5. Because when I think about a director, he's the guy that comes to my head. Because he had control.
Not Orson Welles?
No. Orson Welles is more like
not Stanley Kubrick?
Not Stanley Kubrick, no. Stanley Kubrick was given that budget by NASA and stuff. I'm talking about a guy.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I mean, he was. You can't just be like, oh, he just got the biggest budget
he
for a
faked
film.
the moon landing.
I don't know about all that, but I do know he got a random like $9.8 million from a government benefactor that used to work in the ocean and now works in space. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I think Federico Fellini. I feel like when I think of a director, what kind of director I would want to be, what kind of films I would want to make, it would be him. Like he did like La Strada, Satyricon, and 8.5 alone, I think, are the 3 greatest directed movies of all time, from soundtrack to the action to the acting, just to the camera movement and the lines. It's just he's just like a genius he makes nothing but masterpieces. So I have nothing but respect for him. I consider him to be the utmost master in filmmaking, and he's my favorite. He's my favorite.
Hell yeah, brother. Good directors, man. For these next 2, we have to really speed through, so we're just going to go top 4, and then you're going to say your top 4.
Okay, that's fine.
So my number 4 actors, top 4 actors of all time. Number 4 for me is Ryan Gosling.
Understandable.
I fucking love him.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie from Ryan Gosling, I'd have to say, is Crazy Stupid Love.
Yep.
Crazy Stupid Love. A couple of, just to mention a few, The Nice Guys.
Ooh.
Such an underrated flick.
Russell Crowe was great in that one, too.
And then the one
Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049. There's another one on there. Hold on. Give me a second.
Driver.
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one.
Hold on. Oh my God, I'm so like. Ryan Gosling.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's Ryan
Dude,
Gosling.
why can't
La La Land?
La La Land. There we
okay,
go. We
okay.
just said it.
I thought, okay, just making sure.
He's so good. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
good
really
in everything he does.
He's really good.
Even the Notebook he was good in, but the movie is ass.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Number 3 for me is Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
I think he's one of my favorite comedic actors.
Really?
He is my favorite comedic actors. That is
like
my type of humor.
I see him more as like a modern day Steve Martin. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I think Steve Carell's his own person.
Yeah,
though.
I guess.
It's just my type of humor, dude. It's just my type of. He has the physical comedy down. He has that like really awkward it's like not knowing social cues type of thing. Like even in stuff like Get Smart.
Oh,
he's just like
that. I think that was the first Steve Carell movie I ever saw.
Dude, just the small shit from like the airplane scene where he's in the bathroom stabbing himself with the dart shit.
Dude.
And then to even like the dart shit when he's about to like blow someone out. Just the shit he does is so funny. Number 2 is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
American Psycho.
Yep.
The Dark Knight trilogy.
Yep.
Not Prisoners. I almost just said Prisoners. That's I got it mixed up because he's in the Prestige.
He is in the Prestige.
Which Hugh Jackman's also in, and that's why I said Prisoners, because that's why Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Christian Bale.
But the Prestige.
Just goated. He's my favorite Batman. American Psycho is really good at acting performance.
That's one of the better all-around movies ever made.
You ever seen The Pale of Blue Eye?
No.
It's a newer like detective 1920s movie or something.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Number 1 for me, actors, is Matthew McConaughey.
Okay. I was curious after you said Christian Bale number 2. I understand. I don't think Matthew McConaughey's ever been in a movie that I can't watch. You know what I'm saying? Outside of maybe
I'm a huge
Fool's
fan of
Gold.
rom-coms, and he has like 5 of them or something like that.
And we saw Dazed and Confused together too. Did you like that one?
He's not a big part in that movie though.
He's still great in it though.
He's still great. All right. But yeah, even movies without the rom-coms, he's in my favorite season of TV ever.
Mm-hmm.
True Detective season 1.
Season 1.
Without him, even if you have Woody Harrelson an ex actor, it's not going to be the same without Matthew McConaughey. He carries that season.
And that blue pack of camels, brother. I'm telling you, man. That is the greatest single season and episode in TV history. I'll agree with you.
Your top 4 actors.
My top 4 actors of all time. Number 4, James Cagney. Older actor. He was in White Heat and The Public Enemy. In my opinion, he was like the first real, like, outside of maybe Marlon Brando, like when his performance is on screen, he's just so raw. And I watch his movies to this day, especially Public Enemy and White Heat. phenomenal. Number 3 is Harrison Ford. Doesn't really
Hell
need
yeah.
any introduction.
Oh man, top 4 though.
Dude.
He's like a mid actor with great roles.
For me, it's Blade Runner, right? Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, the first 3 Indiana Jones movies, The Fugitive. Oh my god, dude! His movies are in the first 2 Star Wars movies.
He acts an average guy really well.
He acts an average guy really well, but he has so much charisma, like just so much charisma.
Yeah.
And like he's in some of my favorite movies of all time, sci-fi, regular, thriller. I love Harrison Ford. And
Air Force One.
Is
that him?
That's yeah.
That is him, right? He's in Air Force One.
It's not his best movie. It's cool up until like some of the CGI plane
Star
wreck
Wars?
scenes. The first 2 Star Wars movies.
He's in almost all of them.
I'm talking about like me personally.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
You didn't like Episode 7?
I did like Episode 7. I really did, but I don't count that.
He dies out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's not
By his own son.
And that was cool. That was really cool.
That's why Episode 7's good, dude.
That's why Episode 7 is goated. It is.
Episode 8's goated too.
So
Number 2.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. Number 2 is George C. Scott, another older actor. He played.
No.
He was Patton, you know what I'm saying? He also featured alongside Jimmy Stewart in Anatomy of a Murder. The only person who I would say as an actor can take the screen away from Jimmy Stewart when he's on screen just because of how strong his presence is. He has another one, oh my God, I forget what it's called. It came out in 1971 where he plays a hitman. It's called The Last Run. That movie is one of the more like realistic, like accurate real life type movies ever made. Absolutely love it. He's in another movie called The Hospital, probably where he gives his most powerful performance as a doctor in a hospital where people just don't really care about their practice and stuff anymore, and they got, just not like kind of like a dingy hospital, and he's like the head doctor there. Just I love everything that he's in.
Number 1?
And my number 1, my favorite actor of all time, shouldn't go as any surprise, it's Clint Eastwood.
Hell yeah.
I love outside of
That's a real man's man pick right there. I picked Ryan Gosling as 4, but you got a man's man pick in there.
I love, outside of $1 Million Baby, I love every single Clint Eastwood movie. Like every
Gran Torino,
Josie Wales, the Lone
Dollar
Plains Drifter,
Trilogy,
the Dollars Trilogy, Heartbreak Ridge. Like it's all so cool.
True Grit.
No, he might have directed that one, but I don't think he.
Anyway,
I don't think he was in that.
I thought he was in True Grit.
That was Big Lebowski. That's Jeff Bridges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's an older True Grit though.
Yeah, that's John Wayne.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oops. I'm not a huge Western guy. I tried.
You're good.
I fucking tried.
You're good.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
He was in that one. He was in that one. But yeah, he's just been in so many badass movies,
shit.
and he was Dirty Harry. You know what I'm saying? It's just Clint Eastwood is my guy, more so than any other guys. Clint Eastwood.
Sicko mode. Your top 4 TV shows of all time.
Yes. You want me to go first on this one?
Yes.
Okay. My number 4. This is a show that if I ever win a bet and you have to watch something, this is what I'm going to make you going to watch because I think you will love this more than almost anything you've ever seen, and it is Twin Peaks.
I've wanted to watch that show forever.
Dude, it is a David Lynch mystery thriller. Because you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it.
Put it on the TV right now.
Dude, if I could watch that in one sitting with you, I absolutely would. Twin Peaks.
Is it possible? In one setting?
You'd be really tired.
We'd have to live together, I think.
Yeah, but like, dude, I'm telling you, dude, you would love Twin Peaks so much, dude.
Now that you've said
dude.
that, I will wait to watch it with you.
It is. I put it specifically at number 4 because I wanted to mention it on this show.
Hell
and
yeah.
I think it fits at number 4 perfectly well, too. I love that show.
Hell yeah, brother.
Love that show, dude. It's like a movie, too. It's really like a movie. It was either going to be that or The Sopranos, but I had to put
You don't have Sopranos in your top 4?
No. I love The Sopranos. I know you know. I love The Sopranos, but it's not a top 4.
The use of the F word in that movie, in that show.
Yeah, they say it a lot. They say it a lot.
All right, number 3?
My number 3 favorite show of all time is Venture Brothers. I've mentioned it on here
it's
before.
Not your favorite?
No, it's not my favorite.
Oh, interesting.
It's just in terms of like how long I've been watching it, I can't say that it's my favorite. I've been watching it for less than I've seen Twin Peaks, but it's one of those that the quality of it goes on for longer, the continuity. It almost feels like a show that was written for me specifically. I love it so much. It's my favorite American cartoon of all time.
Number 2?
Number 2 is Top Gear. I love the British Top Gear.
Yeah.
Dude.
I know what you're talking about.
In terms of
Cars, right? It's
yes.
about cars, yeah.
And in terms of quantity versus quality, they have both. You have 26 series with 22 episodes each spanning the course of the mid to late 90s up until late 2018, so you have a huge amount of car history. The specials are perfect. The chemistry that they have together, I think it might be the funniest show of all time. It's awesome, and I love cars. I love cars, and I'm not a fan of British people, but those blokes, I love them. I love them to death.
Those blokes.
That's what they call each other.
Number 1.
My number 1 favorite show of all time. If you know me, it shouldn't be surprised. It's Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball is the coolest thing of all time. I think to this day, I don't care if it makes me sound like a child.
I love Dragon Ball.
Dude, I love Dragon Ball. Goku is so cool, bro, and he can turn into a Super Saiyan 3 and an Ultra Instinct. It's just cool, and I've loved it since I was a larva, a small child,
a lad,
watching it in Italian with English subtitles on some weird cable channel. I didn't care. I was into it. I love it. The animation from the beginning of Dragon Ball up until the end of the Cell Saga is 10 out of 10. Perfect. I love Dragon Ball. Nothing will ever make me not love Dragon Ball.
My top 4 TV shows of all time. Honorable mention, I want to give one.
Go ahead. I mean, I said Sopranos. So.
The Office.
Fair.
Office, man. I've rewatched the whole 9 yards, the whole 9 seasons, multiple times, more than any show I've ever rewatched. So yeah. Number 4 though, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I was debating on putting that one on here.
It's legit perfection.
Yeah.
The only reason it is not any higher at number 3, 2, or 1 is it's not adult, and it peaked when I was younger. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm older now, and it's it's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
But it's still perfect.
Yeah, you can still rewatch it as an adult.
Still perfect.
Oh man.
Number 3, One Piece.
Yeah.
You surprised it's not number 1?
A little bit, honestly, a little bit.
I am a One Piece fanatic.
I mean, likewise, over here, I think it might be the greatest piece of animation.
I started watching it 2 years ago, and I'm already caught up. That's pretty darn...
It took him a lot less time than me, half the amount of time
I just... Once it hit a certain point in the show, say Water 7-ish area...
Do you want to know what
Annie's
it was for
Lobby.
me? Do you want to know what it was for me when I was like, okay, this is what I'm watching? Arlong Park. Arlong
That was
Park.
the first moment when he puts the hat on Nami's head. When he puts
Help
the hat,
me, Luffy, and then it shows
that's when I knew. I was like, Luffy's my god.
And then it's that shot of Usopp, Zoro, and Sanji just posted up, and and it's like
Luffy's my god. Yeah. I would die for Luffy, and so would everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else, bro. And
Best anime of all time. Point blank. Period. Sorry, Dragon Ball.
It's debatable though. It's genuinely debatable. It's arguable for that position. I'd say top 3 would be Neon Genesis, Dragon Ball, and then One Piece.
These 1, 2, and 3 were so close, but I think the other 2 are just tighter. There's some things in One Piece that's kind of loose, kind of what am I watching right now? But the good stuff's the top.
Yeah, right after the time skip, right after Marineford, it's kind of drags a little bit, then it picks up, and then right after Rob Lucci, and then it kind of picks up again. You know what I'm saying?
But One Piece, the reason it can't be 1 or 2 for me is that it has arcs like Thriller Bark, and it has arcs like the Fishman Island.
Yeah.
So it's But the reason it is in the top 4, number 3, is it has arcs like Wano. It has arcs Marineford. It has Dressrosa. It has...
Even Skypiea.
Skypiea. Come on, bro. All right, number 2, really quick. We've already talked about this a bunch. True Detective Season 1 specifically. Specifically Season 1, I think Season 2 was such a fall off, and Season 3 was...
I know what number 1 is now. Yes. Oh, no. No.
It broke.
Oh, that's normal though. That happens.
My fat head. All right. So yeah, number two, True Detective Season 1 specifically. I think I can put that in there because it's not just one specific one linear storyline. It is one. You know what I mean? The first season's not the same.
It's just the first.
It's not the same storyline as Season 2.
No.
So Season 1 is separate.
It's almost like its own show. With you know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Which if you've seen if you've seen Season 2, it feels like its own show.
Number 1 TV show of all time. Period. It's only 10 episodes. Haunting of Hill House. Just the best storytelling from a TV show standpoint. I think that this is one thing, because I'm not a huge TV show guy. I'll watch them and be entertained. But I think this one in particular, Haunting a Hill House, I think it would be less of a good story if it was turned into a movie. Every single other like storyline, I think, if it was condensed, it could be a little bit better. For example, like if The Office was just like, that's a bad example. How am I trying to say this? I think any other like episodic thing, like a True Detective season 1, I think if that was a movie, I think it would be better. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm thinking what you're looking for, the term is serial, like it's a serial show.
Serial show.
Like SERIAL. It's something that it hasn't been popular since the 1930s and 40s, right? Where essentially like you have something like the zombies in the stratosphere, and they would do like 12 episodes of this one singular story and then have it be continuing for like 30 to 45
Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I wouldn't change a single thing about Haunting Hill House. I would not make it into a movie. That's not something I would do. TV shows, I think, have a flaw in it because it's so long and it kind of feels dragged on. This is not that.
Because it's condensed.
It's condensed. Well, yeah, it's condensed into 10 episodes, and it's like they don't waste time. It's perfect storytelling to me. But yeah, that's number 1. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to our next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been a while. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. As we've done last episode, we do a random movie. We started with 2001, a random year, 2001. Now we're going to 2002. We're going to do our top 5 list. We got to go really quickly here. Number 5, for me, 28 Days Later from 2002. 2002, number 5 is 28 Days Later for me.
That's my shout-out one. That's my
your shout-out?
Yeah.
My favorite zombie movie, period, point blank into the story.
You got a shout-out by chance?
My shout-out would be... I'll do a shout out to Punch Drunk Love. I'll do a shout out to Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I didn't really put too much thought in it, but I like that movie well enough to be in ish area. You know what I mean? But number 5, 28 Days Later, my favorite zombie movie ever. To me, I know zombie movies are not realistic, but the most realistic zombie ever.
Arguably.
Why the fuck would they be slow? This movie is like they're fast.
They're terrifying.
They're stronger than you because they only care about eating you. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like the prototype for World War Z almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a little bit more scary in my opinion.
Right. It's terrifying.
World War Z was terrifying to me.
It's not as terrifying as 28 Days Later.
I'll concede. 28 Days Later is
the scene where there's a dude dripping.
I already know what you're talking about.
Oh
my god, dude,
fuck
horrible, bro.
I hate, bro. It's like, bro, move, damn it,
dude.
But yeah, you're number 5.
My number 5, you know this movie very well, is Catch Me If You Can. Is my number 5.
It's not higher.
And I don't think you understand how like tight these 2002 movies are. You could almost put these at any position.
Say what you're gonna say for when I have it.
Okay, that's fine.
Catch Me If You Can. Say what you're gonna say for Catch Me If You Can when I say it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. But you said there's just 4 movies better.
It's just there's 4 movies that I go. It's hard for me to. They're
2002 was a crazy year.
Like these movies are as good as Catch Me If You Can, but I personally have my reasons for liking them more, so I put them higher.
Gotcha. Number 4 for me is Minority Report.
It's like you're taking the ones that I'm not like putting on here, and I wanted to.
I'm
so glad that you're talking about them though.
I watched this yesterday.
Dude, okay, so...
I watched this yesterday for the first time ever.
This is like my second favorite Tom Cruise movie ever, bro.
It might be my first.
Dude, it's so good, bro.
Besides, I'm really a big fan of Mission Impossible. If we take all those movies out, this might be my favorite.
It might be mine, too, because if you're talking about like either Dead Reckoning or Fallout, you know what I'm saying? That might be number 1, but Minority Report, dude. Oh, all the DNA... Oh, my God,
it's a little bit outdated. That's why it's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 for me.
Yeah.
But... because the outdated stuff with the chase scenes and like futuristic cars and road stuff, it's like okay.
But that makes the movie more.
And it's a little bit shot. The lighting in the movie's weird a little bit
because it's early 2000s.
It's really futuristic. Like I get it. It's like Matrix vibe a little bit.
It's early 2000s.
Yeah.
Talk.
So, but I'm not really a fan of that. But the story. Do
you know why that is though?
I love it. Minority Report is goated.
It's amazing. But one of the interesting reasons why movies around the early 2000s have strange lighting is because that was when they really switched over from like tungsten, like set lighting, normal set lighting, over to LEDs, more brighter stuff. And they didn't really know how to color tone it, so a lot of movies come out looking like
it still looks good.
It looks good. Just very dated for its time.
And anyway. Dude, number 4, Minority Report. You're number 4.
So glad you said that. I don't know if you've heard of this movie. You might not have. It's called Russian Ark. right?
No, I haven't heard of this
Okay,
movie.
it's shot. So the way that they prepared for the movie is they did what's it called? They did like prep scenes where they would essentially like do the scenes without filming it with like the camera work and everything. They did it for 2 years straight and shot it all in one take, 87 minutes, one singular rolling take.
I might fuck with that.
And it's this guy, and it takes place in the early 19th century, and he's going around. I think it's Emperor, I forget, Tsars, I can't remember. The character is not important because it's all like first person perspective, and he's seeing like different characters from like history in Russia and stuff, and they're like he's interacting with them, and it is amazing, like a masterpiece movie. If I was talking objectively, it might be the best like cinematic movie that comes out
this
that
year.
It might just because of how impressive it is, bro. It's a historical drama. It's ridiculous. I know. I'm looking. I've got 3 more ahead of it that are just like.
When we picked this year, I did not know any movie. Like I didn't have like a movie in my mind that was like gonna be number 1. Or
I knew this was gonna be the hardest like top 5 I had to make.
This 2002 year was ridiculous.
It's stupid ridiculous.
My number 3. Are you done talking about Russian Ark?
It's a gorgeous, beautiful movie. Perfect cinematography. You would love it.
And that was your number 4.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, Signs.
You're talking about all the ones I don't have. Dude, please talk about Signs.
Signs, the reason it's so good is acting is S tier. Joaquin Phoenix, Mel Gibson. Kid performances are great too. Oh my god, the kid performance. It might be one of the best kid performances of all time.
It might be one of the best Mel Gibson performances of all time.
Yes.
Like
Joaquin Phoenix, no, but but he's great in the movie.
He's Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
The way they tell the story through TV and like just them in the house and them on their farm and them in the middle of nowhere.
You said dialogue, right? Like the dialogue in this movie.
I have not.
Like Mel Gibson talking to the kids like anytime throughout the movie, like when he's like going through the book and like.
And it has something the Signs does, like an alien movie, horror movie that today movies don't have anymore, or even like past the Thing era, like the 90s movies didn't have really, is they don't show them. It's just a movie about them, man. It's just, it's simple. It's one of the better simple movies of all time about aliens, and the plot twist at the end is, it's okay. Oh, they're afraid of water. They go to a planet of 80-90% water, and they're like, oh, we're
supposedly hyper intelligent beings.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Signs is so good.
I
love
really
Signs.
Good. It's really good. Yeah, dude. Thank you for saying Signs, bro. You've got and Minority Report, dude. Oh my god.
28 Days Later as well.
And 28. That was my shout out. I had that because I was like, I can only shout out one movie. 28 Days Later out of those. But dude, yes, dude. My number 3. I hope you've seen this. It's a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York. I have seen half of it. First half of it when I was like 12-ish.
That's
I think.
A rough movie to watch when you're 12.
I don't think I really.
Well, it's like
I didn't like it as much.
Leonardo plays the Irish immigrant in Amsterdam, and like his father died, he's getting revenge,
I know.
And it's so good.
I need to watch that now.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to watch, dude. Yeah, that's my number 3.
Speaking of a rough movie,
I've got dude.
Speaking of a rough movie,
my next 2 are very rough.
Number two movie of 2002, for me, I watched this 2 days ago. Is The Pianist.
Yeah, we'll get to that one in a moment.
Yeah, okay. I just want to say before you get into why it's great, I just want to tell a story. I was at work and I was like, 2002 movies. I've always heard of The Pianist. It's number 1 on every list from 2002. I'm like, I gotta watch this before I do the 2002 list. I can't do a 2002 list without seeing the number 1 movie in 2002. So I'm like, let me sit down and watch it. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be like the movie like The Artist or Whiplash. It's going to be something along the lines of that. I start watching it.
It's going to be like Whiplash. It's funny.
Dude, I start watching it. And it starts off with this black and white sequence of Warsaw back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. Oh, it's a period piece then.
Oh, yeah.
And then he starts playing the piano. And he's like dressed, you can tell it's still a period piece. Mm-hmm. And then you hear something loud outside.
Bang, ding,
and then they're like all scared, and he's like playing. He's like, I'm gonna keep playing, and then the building gets bombed. The building gets bombed, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Just hooked though.
And then I realize 10 minutes into the movie that this is not what I thought it was.
This is not a musical.
This is a fucking Holocaust movie.
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck? And I had to stop watching it there and watch it when I got home because I started watching it at work. I was like, oh, it's a fun movie about a guy who plays piano. It's not no fun movie. But yeah, go ahead. You're number 2.
Yeah, my number 2. Well, I mean, we just talked about it, but The Pianist. It's like, only reason I didn't put it in number 1 is because everyone else has it as number 1. I'm trying to be different.
It's
edgy.
so good.
It's amazing.
10 out of 10.
There's one, yeah, absolutely 10 out of 10. There's one more movie on here I also consider to be a 10 out of 10. I know you've heard of it. I guarantee you've heard of it. My number 1 movie, right? I think we might as well get into it because we talked about The Pianist. It's called City of God.
City of God. I haven't seen it. It's a Brazilian crime movie, right?
Well, it's about these 2 people. One of them, they're friends as kids, and then
they grow up. And one's a crime lord, and then one's a
photographer, right?
Yeah, okay,
and it becomes a journalist.
I read the synopsis. It was either watching that one or The Pianist, but
they're both extremely like they're so rough. But City of God, I caught that one time late at night. I want to say it started at 11:30 at my grandma's house on HBO Max, right? And I was just like, oh, let me go ahead and watch it because I had the little in the bot, which meant nudity. So I was like, okay, let me see some titties real quick. And that's the whole reason I watched it, right? I was like 17, right? And I watched it just because it's just about the slums and the culture in Brazil and just everything that goes on there. And it's just, but they create a story out of it. And it almost feels like a documentary. The way it's shot, it's one of the most immersible movies I've ever seen. Where it feels like you're there and you associate with everything that's going on.
Yeah,
the movie changed my life when I saw it.
Yeah, and the only reason that's not my top 5 is I haven't seen it. So
Fair. I mean, it's not black and white, but it's one of those subtitle movies. But it's just flawless.
Yep. And number 1 for me, we also talked about it, is Catch Me If You Can. Catch Me If You Can is it's in my top 15, I think, movies of all time. And, yeah, I mean, just...
one of the greatest cat and mouse movies of all time.
And it has the 2 best actors of our generation, probably. I mean, probably. If we're being unbiased,
maybe
the roles...
the prior generation.
Yeah, I mean, of our generation. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, we're living.
I'd say, like, our generation... Oh,
we lived through their best acting performances, I think.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could say that.
So, yeah. Catch Me If You Can.
Barry Allen.
Love it. Love it to death. Catch Me If You Can, number 1. City of God, number 1 for you. The Pianist, both of our number 2s.
Yeah,
The Pianist might be the best movie, objectively, that I think I've ever seen.
In 2002, it's either going to be The Pianist, City of God, or Russian Ark. Like, you know, like those are just 3. 2002 had like 3 masterpiece movies come out.
Dude, but Minority Report really surprised me. I think that's the surpriser of the 2002 movies. When you were bro, what a year to be alive when you have all those movies to watch.
And then WrestleMania X8 coming out, Hogan x Rock. That was huge, bro. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Come on.
Sure. Okay. Moving on to our favorite part of the favorite part of the podcast. We're going with a Cartoon Network show draft. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm terrified.
Shall we play rock paper scissors best 2 out of 3 to see who goes first?
Can you say that one more time without me squeaking my chair?
Oh, yeah. You want to do a rock, paper, scissors, best 2 out of 3 to see who goes first? Because
Let's just do one.
Okay. Ooh, fuck.
I know, dude.
Is your rock... Yeah, make sure it's on camera. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fuck! I get 2 picks in a row, right? I get Serpentine?
Yes.
Okay, please do not pick this, please.
I'm probably not...
I beg of you.
My number 1 pick. My favorite show as a child. The one that I could not stop watching. The one that I had merch for. And the Omnitrix.
No, please! I beg of you! Don't do it! I'll pay you. I'll pay you money. I'll pay you anything you want. Please, don't do it to me.
How can I not, though?
No.
This was the movie that
it's all ruined.
Dude, this was the movie.
It's all fucking ruined. I'm fucking breaking the set.
And then they had the second show where he was like a teenager, Ultimate Alien, dog. Dude, give me Ben 10, bro. Dude, I gotta have Ben 10, bro. I have to have Ben 10, bro.
You won. It's over.
Dude,
fuck you,
Ben
dude.
10 was so good, bro. You can't expect me not to pick it.
God dang it. What do I do from here?
I'm sorry, dude.
What do I do?
I had to, bro.
Oh, what do I do from here?
This was every team after Shaq got drafted.
Oh, shit. Number 2, my first pick, I guess. Give me Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. That was gonna be my second one.
And then my second round, give me Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, that was no one on my there too. Ooh yeah, those are 2 good picks right there. Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna have to go with Codename Kids Next Door.
You're such a stupid bitch.
I'm gonna have to go with Codename Kids Next Door as my next pick. And then this one, I can go.
It's all ruined.
And then I can go a couple ways with this one, right? I can go a couple ways with this one. But I'm probably going to go ahead and do the smart pick and choose... Ooh, this is rough. I'm probably going to go with Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I'm leaving. You're doing this to...
These are my favorite shows as a kid. You got Ed, Edd n Eddy, bro. That was like... Dude, that's such a cute...
The most nostalgic cartoon show of all time for me is Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids.
Really?
I watched that over and over
Dude,
and over.
Likewise, bro.
Fuck. Damn it.
Dude, I'm sorry. I did my bad.
You know what? Give me Star Wars Clone Wars.
Good pick.
Yeah, give me that.
Good pick.
Arguably some of the best Star Wars we've ever gotten.
Easily.
So, I gotta go with that there. Pick number 4 for me. Are we doing 5 and then a 6-man?
Yeah.
Okay. Pick number 4. So I have Ed, Edd n Eddy, Teen Titans, and Star Wars Clone Wars. My 4th pick, Samurai Jack.
Understandable, dude. I understand. That would have been one of mine. Ooh, it's a really good one. It's a really good one. I found something unconventional on here.
Okay.
But I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm not going to use it just yet. So, these are my last 2 picks, though, aren't they?
Yep.
These are my last 2
Wait,
picks.
no. You have Ben 10, 1.
Yep.
And then the 2 in a row you picked was Codename Kids Next Door and Foster's Home. So you only have 3. So you'll have 2 and then 1 more at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, right, because we're doing 6-man. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to go with... Give me Billy and Mandy as my other
Grim
pick.
Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Kino.
How did you know?
That's one of those shows, dog. Like Ed, Edd n Eddy, and that, like,
God.
dude, that's one of those shows, bro.
Dude, you're breaking my heart. This is like the most, like, this is gonna give me trauma.
And then, see, this is hard. This is really hard.
Every pick you've picked has broke my heart.
What did I just say? Billy and Mandy?
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
See, there's 3 more that I'm looking at, and I go, yeah, these could be good, right? But if I can only choose 2 more. But I can only choose 1 more after this.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if anyone remembers this. There's going to be a lot of editing. I'm sorry, because of the pausing and shit.
You're good.
Bro. I don't know if anybody remembers this, bro, but there was this show that I really liked, and it was called Generator Rex. And he had like actually I might take that one back, bro. That one was ass, bro. That one's like one of the last ones I have. Can I switch that one up?
Sure.
Because I know you don't give a fuck.
I'm not going to pick it.
Yeah. Give me Chowder. Give me Chowder. You know
that's my last one I have on here.
I love Chowder as a kid. That's more of a personal pick for me. Give me Chowder.
Just to keep you updated with the teams, you have Ben 10, Codename Kids Next Door, Foster's Home for that one really broke my heart.
Dude, you had the opportunity to get it.
I know, but I didn't think you were gonna pick it.
Why not?
I don't know.
Wilt.
I needed to get Teen Titans and Ed, Edd n Eddy. I had to get that.
What kid wanted Wilt Chamberlain as an imaginary friend, bro?
What a fucking guy. And then you have Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And then Chowder. And then me, I have Ed, Edd n Eddy, Teen Titans, Samurai Jack, and Star Wars Clone Wars. For my last 2 picks, the first one, I'm going to go regular show.
Good pick. That was on mine as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go regular show. It's pretty fucking funny. It's like the most creative out of the Cartoon Network shows.
Do you realize how good that show actually is?
It's pretty fucking good.
Like,
I haven't watched it all the way through, but I just remember watching it with you and our friend Jackson.
It evolves very well.
It's pretty fucking, it's like so creative.
Yeah.
It's a little bit adulty.
It
for
is.
A kid, you know what I mean?
It really is. It really is. I enjoy it to this day, especially those earlier seasons and the last season too. Really
and
good.
In my opinion, the best Scooby-Doo we've ever gotten. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, where the Mr. E is the main villain of the whole show.
Good pick.
And it's not just fillers. It's all leading up to like Thanos, bro. That's what it is, bro.
Pick.
It's all leading up to the main villain that's always sending them the letters, and you're like, who is Mr. E?
And that's your 6-man Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated? Dude,
that's my 6-man.
That's a hell of a 6-man.
That's my best. That's my favorite Scooby-Doo superhero. That's my favorite Scooby-Doo
I'm glad
ever.
you didn't pick this one up.
I'm probably not a fan of it, actually. So.
Oh, no, I think you might have just forgotten about it.
Really? What?
For my 6-man and my final pick, my anchor, my savior, I'm going to go with Destroy Build, Destroy.
What is that?
You don't remember Destroy, Build, Destroy? So like they would take a bunch of kids and they would give them a bunch of like parts, like mechanical parts. They would have to build the cars and like make them fight each other and like with flamethrowers and
Sounds
stuff.
cool.
It was awesome.
It sounds cool.
It was awesome. I can't believe you don't remember Destroy, Build, Destroy.
I had never watched it. What year was that at?
I was like 2010 to like 2015 or
Yeah, I was
something.
probably out of the Cartoon Network phase. And
I was, but Destroy, Build, Destroy was crazy.
So, just to recap, your team is Ben 10, Codename Kids Next Door, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Grim Adventures of Billy and oh my god, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Chowder.
Yep.
And then Destroy, Build, Destroy.
Destroy, Build, Destroy.
Is that 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My 6 are Ed and Nettie, Teen Titans, The Regular Show, Samurai Jack, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and Star Wars Clone Wars.
You want to swap lists?
I would. Here, I'll swap one with you. I'll give you Samurai Jack for Ben 10.
Not an even trade.
Please give me Ben 10. Oh, no. And then you took Foster's?
I'll trade you. I know we could. We'll do this. We'll do a part 2 to this.
Dude, next we should do Nickelodeon animated shows.
That's gonna get heated because there's very few. There's.
It all depends on the rock paper scissors beforehand for the number one spot, and if I don't get it, I'm walking out. If I don't get my number one show of all time,
the number one show, the number one possible cartoon of all time.
Yeah, we should do that next. I like these drafts, dude.
These are good.
Oh, but you broke my heart with the damn Fosters and the damn Ben 10, bro.
I mean, those are two.
And then you knew Grim Adventures of... Dude, this would have been my all-time, if I got what I wanted, which was never going to happen. I wanted Ben 10.
Yep.
I wanted Teen Titans.
Yep.
I wanted Codename.
Yep.
I wanted Ed and Nettie.
Yep.
And I wanted Foster's and I wanted Grimm. That's the 6 I wanted. And you took half of those.
I wanted Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Samurai Jack, Billy and Mandy, Clone Wars, and Ben 10. Those are the ones.
So we took both of our hats.
Or Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So
what a draft. You broke my heart, dude.
I'm sorry, dude. I had to get it. There was no choice. I had to take Ben 10 first overall. If you're talking about just going back and watching a show,
we should do drafts more because look, we've done drafts in the past where we kind of have what? Is there a bug in here?
A gnat.
We'll get it later.
Dude, if you ever think you're too small to make a difference, you're not. That gnat was.
I think the drafts that we kind of have similar opinions on are going to be the best. All right, you hear me?
Yeah, I am. I'm listening. That thing is just.
I think the draft that we have similar opinions on are going to be the best ones. If we're differing opinions, we're just going to get what we want, you know?
Yeah, true.
So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap up so you can get out of here with this gnat fucking bugging you.
Dude, yeah, it's killing me, dog. I'm about to kill it. As in the clown.
Send us out with a message.
There's no such thing as a shit too small.